story that Prince was treated for an overdose, a drug overdose or near overdose last week. Harvey Levin joining us live from TMZ with more on this. The initial reports that came out on that was that they had that emergency landing, Harvey, because of flu-like symptoms. But to the contrary, that wasn't the case.
Yeah. We broke that story a week ago today, and when we did, it didn't make any sense to us. He was flying back from Atlanta after a concert. He had 48 minutes to go when all of a sudden the plane went down and landed in Moline, Illinois. They said it was the flu, and it didn't make sense why he wouldn't just tough it out for the 48 minutes. We found out from multiple sources on the ground in Moline that what really happened was he had OD'd on Percocet, which is a very powerful opiate, and was near death. And it was so serious that he had to get a save shot by EMTs at the airport. They couldn't wait to get to the hospital. Once at the hospital, he was in the ER. The doctor said he needed to stay 24 hours. Prince's people said, we are not going to stay where he's seen and he's visible to everybody here. We need a private room. They said they didn't have one. And Prince's people said, we're out of here. And they left against the doctor's advice.
Well, we understand his plane left pretty quickly, like you said, for him to go home. Are you hearing anything, Harvey, about a past history of any kind of drug use? We understand he had a hip problem, and this would be a painkiller you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, look, we have heard from various people that over periods of his life he did have issues with drugs, but specifically as for this, in 2010, around then, we're told he had hip surgery and he was on painkillers at the time. We do not know if it was Percocet or if he continued taking it after the surgery. We just know that it was Percocet and a heavy dose of it at that when that brought that plane down and nearly killed him a week ago. We also know that Prince made at least 4 trips in the last 4 or 5 days of his life to the Walgreens near his home, and he was getting prescriptions, and he was actually, we got a picture of him hours before he died, 7:30 at night on Tuesday night. No, Wednesday night.
Right.
We got a picture of him in the parking lot, and we're told he was agitated, he was pacing, waiting for his prescription. So these are pieces of a puzzle that we know the authorities in Minnesota are putting together.
I know you can't really tell anything from that picture. I saw it, Harvey. I mean, from the looks of it, he looks fine. It's interesting he's just walking into the drugstore there.
We talked to people who were there, and they said he did not look fine. They said he anything but, and he looked in distress.
Yeah.
All right, so Harvey, as we're waiting for further information from authorities, and that could take weeks down the road, what else are you at TMZ looking at right now in the death of Prince?
Well, look, I mean, these are all building blocks. I mean, what's going to be particularly interesting is what police found at the scene. And also, you know, what his prescription history is. They're going to be going to various doctors that he went to and pharmacies to see exactly what he got. Now, that doesn't mean that drugs killed him. They have not said that, and I don't think they really know until they get the talks back, and that's going to take 2 weeks. But it is certainly a path that they're looking at right now, and based on what happened a week ago in Moline, it seems like a hot lead.
You know, part of the difficulty in, trying to trace what may have happened to him is the fact that he was such a private person, right? I mean, you guys get a lot of information, but the fact that he was very private, you really don't know what was going on with his life or what he may or may have not been doing.
Yeah, it's interesting. We were able to kind of piece together who was in his life, and you're right. He had a girlfriend. He had a couple of, people who were working for him. He was hiring and firing professionals in his life for many, many years, and really didn't have anybody that was kind of long-term in that respect. So he had a few friends. He had a girlfriend, some advisors, but it was a closed circle, and it got smaller in the last couple of years.
Harvey, the whole world, the nation is responding. They are remembering Prince with such fondness. And as you're doing your job, I got to think, too, though, you also are remembering Prince with so many great memories as a fan.
Oh, God, yes. And I mean, there are people in my office. We have an editor who literally just locked his door and started crying for a while. And is getting drunk tonight and listening to Prince records. And we, Charles was saying Prince is the soundtrack of his life.
Yeah.
And a lot, I mean, everybody in the office. I will tell you this, that when Michael Jackson died, that was the most heavily trafficked day of our website at that point.
Wow.
This doubled it.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe it's also the sign of the times, too. Just more people getting information through
Well,
those avenues.
I think
I think it
too.
is. I think that's part of it. But
Yeah.
but still, the number is beyond belief.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Harvey Levin, thanks as always. Great job on the story.
But
and
as we continue to
appreciate it. I know
yeah, as we
he's-
continue
must be
to
exhausted from all this.
look into this. Thank you, Harvey. We won't know
Okay,
if
guys.
drugs played a part in Prince's death until the toxicology results are actually released.
Of course. Yeah, but joining us now to talk more about this, Dr. Reeve Karim, psychiatrist, addiction medicine physician, and founder and director of the Control Center in Beverly Hills. So, according to that report from TMZ, you know, he was treated for this near overdose on Percocet. Percocet. Tell us a little bit more
Yeah.
about that drug.
So Percocet is an opiate. It's a narcotic analgesic like Vicodin, Lortabs, Percocets. When you're intoxicated on opiates and you have too many opiates, you can have delayed breathing, you get kind of drowsy, and you've seen people that are like this. They're just kind of out of it. But when you take a lot of that drug, you can actually lose consciousness. You
Okay.
can stop breathing.
When you say a lot, you mean what?
It's different for every individual, but when you take too much of it for your system to not be able to handle that amount of opiates in the system, you stop breathing. You more or less shut down. Your body just shuts down, and you can die from it.
Do you mean too much at once or over a short period of time?
Either. It could be too much at one time, or it could be stacking, what we call stacking, where you take more and more of the drug over time, and you think that it has a short half-life, but some of these drugs don't.
It's this whole pain management thing that people have, right? Because you're like in intense pain, you're supposed to take one, it sort of eases the pain a little bit, doesn't completely eliminate the pain, and so people just want to get more and more and take more of
It's
it.
totally right. It's totally right. Pain hurts us so much that we don't think about, oh wait, I need to wait and let this drug kick in, because you're feeling so much pain that you're like, let me just take another one, or let me just
Right.
take another one. And if you take too many, it's obviously
Then you're just gone. There were also reports that the medics gave him the save shot, so
Yeah.
something that would have like jolted or gotten him out of it. So is there sort of like an antidote
Yes.
to an OD?
Yeah, so there's something called Narcan. Narcan is an opiate. It's like a reversal. It's the antidote. It's the reversal when you've had too much of an opiate in your system. You can take it as an intramuscular injection, or you can take it intranasally. And what it does is, it's an amazing thing. I've seen it happen where somebody is literally on death's door. We give that injection, and all of a sudden they're like,
Wow.
and they start breathing again, and they wake up again, and it's like a miracle drug.
Is this what some police departments are starting to carry?
Yeah, in fact, it's become so prominent that it's now being carried. It's supposed to be a pharmaceutical product, but it's now being carried in stores. You can get it over the counter in certain places, and it's something just like a defibrillator that we should have around us at all times.
I have to think that doctors are keenly aware that Percocet, other opiates, as you talk about, are aware that, you know, prescribing too much of this stuff is very extremely dangerous. But you know, you see, and again, we don't know how Prince died, but there were reports that he was going to this pharmacy several times over the past week. You know, how does a person continue to get enough Percocet where it becomes too dangerous?
Yeah, how much time you got? Because the way this works is a lot of doctors are prescribing months and months and months at a time
Right.
of these opiate pills, because they might not see the patient that often. Now, the CDC's just passed new regulations and new guidelines trying to prevent addiction from these kinds of drugs so that the average person can't get large doses of these drugs at one time. But a celebrity, special care, not regular care, can pretty much get whatever they want. So somebody's got to be regulating and being able to get in that celebrity's face and go, listen, you're taking too many of these pills. You got to stop taking these pills. And that celebrity has to be willing to listen to somebody.
And
So
not just
in your industry, how concerned are you about Percocet? Where do things stand, and what can be done about the problems with this?
Yeah, I'm very concerned. It's a great, not just Percocet, but all the narcotic analgesics, these opiates. They're great medications for people for pain. And there are a lot of people in pain. It's a significant medication for people in pain. However, if we're not told about the addiction problems with these medications, you could die not just from your the disease or the pain that you have, you could die from the medications that are trying to help you to overcome the pain. It's a problem.
Yeah, it's as big as a problem as substance abuse for other illegal, illicit drugs.
Oh, absolutely. In some ways, prescription drugs are more dangerous than illegal drugs like heroin because they're doctor prescribed.
Sure.
Somebody with a white coat's giving it to you, you think it's fine, and you could end up dying on that just as much as you could dying on heroin.
Is it a greater problem, let's say, with the celebrity culture? Like you said, celebrities maybe giving a little preferential treatment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've treated a lot of celebrities all over the world, internationally, and this is a problem no matter where you go. When somebody has access to whatever they want, and they have handlers all around them whose careers are dictated by this celebrity, you want that celebrity to work. They work, so you work. And if this celebrity, you're not thinking about their health all the time, and you want that celebrity working, and if a couple of pills will do it, they'll encourage that celebrity taking more and more pills to get by.
All right.
Wow, Reef.
I just want to say one other thing. I'm a huge Prince fan, and I dyed my hair purple. An Indian boy dyed his hair purple when I was in high school, so this is a really sad day.
Absolutely. Everybody's
That would
feeling
probably work for you.
Maybe.
Dr. Reef Karim, thank you so much.